What's your maiden name?
Girard.
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 It's like the park?
Yeah, but then you can spell it Gerard too. And I think my birth certificate has it like that.
With an E instead of an I?
Yeah, but I've always learned when I started school, I guess, that's the way they taught me how to spell it.
Okay, that's interesting. So as far as you know, no connection to the person who the park is named after?
No.
You told me that you've been living in Youngsville since the 90s. And before that you were living in Lafayette. Were you born in Lafayette?
No, I was born in Broussard. Well, yeah.
Right. So if
it's on there was no name to the road where I was born, but now it's Landry Garber Road.
Okay.
They named it. And the house no longer, in fact, this is a picture of the house, the way I was born.
Really?
Yeah.
Who painted that?
It's a lady, a friend of mine, the lady, she called me and she had a picture of it, and I have a picture. The only thing is, it doesn't show where it was way off of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I used to play under there. I was small, when I was small, and I used to play underneath there.
So that's how high it was.
That's how high it was,
When you had a heavy rain, would the water come up that high?
No, not at that time that I remember, no. And then the ladder was on the side, and then you could go up in the attic. They had a ladder from the porch on the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm. So if I asked if I asked you where's your hometown, would you say Youngsville or Lafayette? Youngsville. So
yes.
Where? Right. How many years have you lived in Youngsville? You said
we moved here in December of '93.
Okay. In Broussard. So how long did you live? When did you leave Broussard and move to Lafayette?
Oh, I don't know how old I was, but I remember when we moved to town, I had to go to school. I went to Myrtle Place, and that was like, I don't know if it was 6th grade up to the 8th grade, and then I went from 9th grade, I went to Lafayette High. But I went to Myrtle Place, and then I went to Lafayette High.
Yeah, I went to Lafayette High.
I graduated in '48. Can you imagine? June 1st, 1948.
I don't think of that school as being that old.
Yeah, it was, and it's modern now. I mean, they have all kind of, they even have a roof where you could, go up and not get wet. But when I went to school, they didn't have that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
No, in fact, we couldn't, our class was so big in 48.
Mm-hmm.
We had, they made us a stage at the men's gym at UL.
Okay.
And we were disappointed because we wanted to graduate at school, but it wasn't big enough. So we graduated from UL in the men's gym. So I went to UL.
Was that SLI at the time or USL?
Yeah.
It was still SLI.
SLI, yeah.
Do you speak French?
Yeah, some, yeah. I mix it. Sometimes if I talk to somebody, we talk French. We start in French, finish in English, or English to French.
Mm-hmm. What about your parents or grandparents? Would they speak French
only
first?
French. My daddy never knew English.
Okay.
No, and none of them.
So you only learned English in school?
Oh, in school, yeah.
Okay.
And then when I went to school, you couldn't talk, you had to talk English. You couldn't talk French.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all we knew,
Mm-hmm. Would you say you speak Cajun French or Creole French?
Not Creole. I guess it would be Cajun. I don't know. It's not this French that you learn in school, because you take that in school. The kids took it too, but it's not the same. English, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the same.
What's wrong?
Don't move these too much.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah, it's gonna make noise.
Yeah.
She has to she records all her teachers at school, so she can
really?
listen to the
Yeah,
lessons.
so I
and
have
get
experience.
a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Don't move this, don't do that.
Do you think you have an accent?
I don't think so, but you know, I've been places where they say, well, you know, you're not from here, and to me, I don't know if that's not. I guess to some people, I know we went to on vacation one year, and they told us we were eating at a restaurant, or any. They say, well, you're not from here, you know, you from where are you from?
Where were you on vacation?
Yeah, well, we had gone to Arkansas, Branson,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, well, y'all not from here, you know, and they thought we had an accent. I guess we do compared to some of it, you know, like in Georgia or Alabama, well, you can tell, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's a question. Are there any circumstances in which you might see yourself moving away from where you live now?
No way. When I'm going to move, it'll be permanent. I mean, it won't be. Oh, no. I love my house and the kids are next to me and all that. I just...
If you weren't living in Youngsville, could you see yourself living anywhere else around here?
No, I don't think so.
What?
I used to like my in town when we lived in Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
We lived there for 37 years, I believe. And I really didn't care too much to move because we had so many memories there, you know, and all that. But I'm glad we moved. My husband wanted to move after we retired. He liked the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we bought an acre of property and built a house. And
Now Youngsville's they've been building it up recently. Do you still feel like this is country and Lafayette's town?
No, not anymore because they built that subdivision across from John. When we moved here, we were the only house. Those three was in there, and then they had this, and they have a few down the road, and that was it. It's all sugar cane.
Where'd you live in Lafayette?
On Tennessee, we live next door to y'all.
Oh yeah, okay,
No,
yeah,
not,
that's right.
no,
that's right.
to Mary and them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Mary and that's where Mary and John met.
Mm-hmm.
You know how close we had hedges in between the houses, and John and Mary would open the windows and talk to each other. And sometimes it was winter time, and I said, "It's cold. Close the windows."
You're letting the heat out.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's right. My mom took me there a couple times to show me like this is where we used to live.
Yeah.
How often do you visit nearby towns?
I really don't go.
Maybe even Lafayette every once
The
in a
only
while.
time I go to town is to go. I have 2 doctors in the oil center.
Okay.
And I go, and the way the roads, I mean, the construction and all that. And I'm 86 years old, so I'm getting to where I don't care to drive any more than I have to.
Okay. When you go out there, let's say you go to the doctor's office or you're out in Lafayette or somewhere else, and if somebody asks you where you're from, where do you say you're from?
Youngsville. But I live so close to Milton, sometimes I say Milton. I'm
Okay.
about a mile from Milton. But I have a Youngsville address and phone number. But Milton is so nice right there. I mean, there's a church, the school, and they have new news market. I mean, and they have a post office.
Is that where do you go shopping at Nunu sometimes?
Oh, a lot of times. And instead of going to the big store, if I don't feel like going walking in the store, you know, those big stores and all of that, and if I need just a few things, I just go there. You can go in and out and finish.
When you would go on vacation somewhere else, like you said, you went to Arkansas and that, where would you tell people if they ask you where you're from? What would you tell them?
Well, then when we used to go, it was Lafayette.
Okay.
But since we're here, I don't think I've ever been. We go to the casino sometimes,
Hmm.
but I mean, that's once a month.
In Baton Rouge or Lake
No,
Charles?
we go to Kenda,
Okay.
and then we go to Cyprus. We're 5 people.
Mhm.
We're all in our 80s,
Hmm.
85, 86, 88, and 89. There's 2 of us that's 86 now.
Hmm.
And we go for our birthdays. There's 5 of us, our little group.
Go to Cypress Bayou Casino?
Yeah, we go.
You ever win anything?
No, well, if you win a little bit, you put it back in, you know. It's not really a lot. I've never won, but I have a friend that won a few years ago. She won $50,000.
What?
Wow.
On the machine?
Yes,
Or- oh,
yes.
What?
But,
So I hope she
was-
bought you guys lunch at least.
Yeah, she should, not that day, but she took us to Riverside. One time we went, and it was, but she was so nervous, and I don't blame her, you know. But 50,000, I said, oh my God.
Wow.
But how long after that? So you keep going then?
Yeah.
After you win, you thought that you're gonna win some more.
Some more, yeah.
You're gonna
But
spend
I play the penny machine.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna win big because I don't go the maximum. That's too much money, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know some of them right here, but how many family members do you have living in Youngsville?
Well, I have John,
Mm-hmm.
John and Mary, David and Rose and Sarandon.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 of them. I have David,
Yeah.
Rose,
Rose.
John and Mary, and Sarah and Corey.
All right. So this little group right here.
Yeah.
So that's how many generations? How many? Well, let's go back, I guess, to you guys. You and your husband were the first to move to Youngsville.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Lafayette. Now, why'd you move to Lafayette? Why'd your family move to Lafayette when you were
Oh.
in middle school? Was it for work?
Which mean when
When
I
you-
first moved to town?
When you said you were about in middle school when you guys
Well, we
when your
moved.
family.
My daddy used to be a farmer. He
Okay.
worked for somebody. Then we moved to town, and he went to work for Clico.
Okay.
And he had bought a little shotgun house and all of that. I mean, and he worked, and then we went to school. My sister and I. We were only 2. My mother died when I was 6.
Mm.
So my dad and my mother's parents, my grandparents, raised us, and my daddy was he took care of us, and between my grandparents.
In Broussard, do you know how many generations of your family had lived there?
My grandparents lived there. That's the only.
Do you ever go to any local events around here, like festivals or anything like
No,
that?
I did that when the kids were like Mardi Gras and all that
Mhm.
stuff. We did all of that. But when they were old enough to go on their own, I quit that. I mean, and then they got to where they didn't even care to go to Mardi Gras as they grew up, you know. But,
You went to, so that would be when you were living in Lafayette.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd go to Mardi Gras in Lafayette?
Yeah, we'd go Mardi Gras every year. But I'd let them go ahead and have fun. And when they got old enough to be on their own, they did. Oh, y'all did that too.
We went to, Heen had her first Mardi Gras, last year or the year before?
I think more around here last year. Before when it's supposed to be Mardi
You
Gras.
ever went to Mardi Gras? I never went to New Orleans. I never wanted to go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Is it because it's too far or it's just too crowded?
It's too crowded. I don't like crowds like that. Not anymore. Maybe when I was younger, like everybody else. But as you get a certain age, you just don't care for all of that.
Now here's a question I like. Do you dip your crawfish?
What you mean, dip the crawfish? Oh, in a sauce or something?
Yeah.
Sometimes, well, I make my own, I mean, you know, but not all the time.
Hmm. Apparently some people do and
Yeah,
some people don't.
Yeah, they use ketchup and Tabasco or mayonnaise, and they mix all that up and all of
What's
that.
your recipe to make the dip?
Huh?
What's your recipe to make the dip?
Oh, I just use a little bit mayonnaise and put some hot sauce, Tabasco, you know, you mix it, or you can use the ketchup, or some of them will mix all three of them, you know. Depends on how hot you want it.
You like spicy food?
Some, but not too much. Sometimes it's really too spicy.
Okay, so this last question, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much is your identity tied to your town or area? So how strongly do you feel tied to this area? 1 is not at all, 5 is very close.
Well, I guess it would be 5. I mean, can't go wrong.
You're here now, right?
Yeah, I'm
You're
here,
now.
I'm not here, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
I'm here to stay, Cajun again. But anyhow.
I think so. From Broussard,
Well, yeah.
you speak a little French.
Oh, yeah,
That's
'cause
something.
I started school, I didn't know anything, and my dad and my grandparents didn't know any English at all. And then when you went to school, they would punish you. They didn't want you to talk French. You had to learn English.
And now they
But
got...
my parents
yeah.
and grandparents didn't know any. My daddy didn't know, he knew a few words. And then when Lee Allen and John, well, they remember him. I mean, they were born before he died in 1964. But they'd understand each other. And he spoiled them, and they'd always say they wanted him to go to the store with him, get him some candy or something, and he'd always tell them, get my hat, and then they'd go. I mean, they had an understanding.
So your husband's family, the Anslem side, were they Cajun? Did they speak
No.
French?
Oh, well, yeah, they spoke French. The old people, I never knew the old people, but the grandfather lived in Opelousas.
Okay.
I think he was a deputy or something in Opelousas years ago.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's 2 ways to spell Anslem, too. It's supposed to be A-N-S-E-L-M, but we spell it A-N-S-L-E-M. And some of the family, his daddy spelled it A-N-S-E-S-E-L-M, and his birth certificate has that spelling. But evidently when he went to school, some of them got, and then he joined the Navy. I don't know if they spelled it that way or what, but that's how it wound up, A-N-S-L-E-M.
Sounds like both sides of your family just want to be little rebels.
Spell your name different. But you know what? Years ago when they would write down the way it sounded. Because on my birth certificate, they'll have that. And then they'll have my mother-in-law. Her name was Elise. It's E-L-I-S-E.
Yeah.
But on her birth certificate, they have E-L-I-Z-E, Elise. You see, to me, they spelled it like it was, like it sounded.
Yeah.
So you have different spellings there.
Yeah.
You spell one way, and they spelled it another way, and then. But anyway, we all have names.